Hello, boys and girls. We are now going to code the knight in our dragon protecting his treasure. So the first thing I wanted to do is I did a little bit of setup. I told it to switch to the beginning, so that way it's always on the green. And then I told it to, I made two variables. One variable was called damage, so you could make a variable, and one is called knights defeated. So I'm going to say set the damage to 0, set the knights to defeated. So you're going to have two different variables we're going to keep track of. Now I gave this one a starting position, but that's going to change a little bit over here. And then I went ahead and went to controls and said make a clone, put forever, and then put a wait on it. This wait will determine how much time is in between each clone. Then if you start as a clone, if you make a clone, you have to start as a clone, and I said point towards the dragon and then show up because I told it to hide. I also told it to wait 6 seconds because the dragon talks for 6 seconds first, so we wanted to wait till he's done talking. And then I said forever move 3 seconds. So that means it's pointing towards the dragon, forever moving. So if you see, it's forever moving like this, but nothing's happening. It's the clones are coming here and getting stuck in the corner. So this is where we're going to be bringing out our if statements. We're going to be using a lot of if statements. So I'm going to go ahead and just drag out several so that I already have them here. So I think, you are going to say if, come to sensing, you're going to say if you're going to say if touching the mouse, what is going to happen? And then we're going to say if touching the edge, what is going to happen? And then I'm going to say if touching the dragon, what is going to happen? So we have the three things it's going to touch. Now we're going to have a couple other if statements too. We're going to have what happens if the damage is so big, or what happens if the knights are defeated. So we're going to have a couple more here too. So I'm going to say if it's touching the mouse pointer, that one, we are just going to say delete the clone. So all of these are delete the clones. If it's touching the edge, it's going to delete the clone. If it is touching the dragon, it's going to delete the clone. But if it is touching the mouse pointer, remember we set up those variables, I'm going to say change, and this one says damage, so I want to make sure I change it to the right one. Change the damage to knights defeated by 1. So now it's going to start getting, and then I'm going to say if touching the edge, nothing else is going to happen. But if touching the dragon, I'm going to change the damage by 1. So this is how we're going to start keeping score. Okay, so now we're going to see it. So now we see if I touch it, I get points. If it touches the dragon, I lose points. Okay, so now we have this. So now how do we win this game? So now you're going to come over here and you're going to go to your operators, and you're going to tell your operator, you're going to say if. Now sometimes you could say equals, but sometimes in Scratch it happens fast. So I like to use this one that says if greater than. So I'm going to say if, go back to my variable, if my damage is greater than 12, I'm going to switch the backdrop. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to switch the backdrop over to looks. I'm going to switch the backdrop to end because that will be the end. So now I'm going to come over here and say if, once again, I'm going to do this same code here. If it's greater than, so I need my other variable, if the knights defeated is greater than 12, and you can do whatever number you want here, then I'm going to have it switch the backdrop to the win. And with all of these, I'm going to add a button here under my controls that says stop all. So if this happens, if it's greater than this, it's going to switch to the backdrop. It's going to stop all. If it does this, it is going to, let me come back down here. It is going to stop all. So this is basically how you are going to code your knight. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to make duplicates of the knight and how to get them in different locations.